Hey there, hoop fans. It's Kokan, your go-to guru for all things roundball, fondly known to the community as Tips and Streams. We're not just dribbling around here. We're talking serious plays and epic showdowns. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of the NBA, breaking down some of the most anticipated matchups that are about to set the court on fire. But wait, before we jump into the action, do me a favor. Slam dunk that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Why? Because you don't want to miss out on our expert analysis, predictions, and those secret top picks that might just give you bragging rights among your friends. All right, fellow ballers, let's lace up and dive in. The first today's prediction is for the matchup between Miami Heat and Charlotte Hornets. In the highly anticipated hardwood showdown at the Spectrum Center, the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets are set to clash in a game teeming with intricate dynamics. With a 12-10 record, the Heat are hitting the road to challenge the 7-13 Hornets in their hive. Odds makers have tagged the Miami Heat as the frontrunners, with the team favored by 3 points in the spread. The total points over-under tantalizingly hovers at 223.5, hinting at a nail-biting encounter with a slight tilt in Miami's favor. Scoring stats are almost at a dead heat, with the Hornets slightly outpacing the Heat at 113.11 points per game against 113.105. This sets the stage for a potential scoring frenzy. The Heat boast a marginal lead in shooting accuracy, netting 47.26% of field goals versus the Hornets' 47.10%. Their prowess beyond the arc is noteworthy too, sinking 38.45% of threes compared to the Hornets' 50%, which could be decisive in a duel reliant on long-range mastery. However, the Hornets have the upper hand in snagging rebounds, averaging 43.84 per game, eclipsing Miami's 40.81, which could lead to crucial extra scoring chances. Miami's lineup grapples with notable absences, with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro out of action, while the Hornets miss Frank Ntilikina, Cody Martin, and LaMelo Ball, affecting both squads' offensive firepower. In player showdowns, Miami's Jimmy Butler is tipped to be a game-changer, while Miles Bridges is expected to shine for the Hornets. These key matchups could sway the game's direction. Recently, both teams have shown fluctuating form, but Miami's slightly superior record and their knack for clutch play might give them an advantage. Yet the Hornets' home court advantage, backed by local fan energy, could be a game-changer. Historically, in their face-offs at the Spectrum Center, the Hornets have a knack for beating the spread, covering it in 4 of their last 6 home games against the Heat. This pattern could be telling for the upcoming game, more so with the Hornets' home court prowess. Balancing the stats and considering the injuries, this matchup promises to be evenly matched, with the Heat's shooting finesse possibly tipping the scales, but the Hornets' rebounding strength and Miami's injury woes could even out the odds. Brace for a closely fought battle, likely going down to the wire. My bet is on Charlotte Hornets +4. The next prediction is for the match between Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons. In the high-energy showdown at Detroit's Little Caesars Arena, the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons are set to deliver a riveting encounter. Riding on a 12-9 record, the Pacers are bouncing back from a recent defeat by the Lakers, while the Pistons, grappling with a 2-20 record, are desperate to end their home court blues. Diving into the numbers, the Pacers boast a formidable offense this season. They're topping the charts with a stellar effective field goal percentage of 58.6%, ranked 4th in rim shooting at 66.1%, and maintain a solid 38.1% from downtown. Their scoring game is on fire, averaging a hefty 128.4 points on a 50.8% shooting spree. Their defense, however, is a different story, conceding 124.9 points at a 49.9% rate and struggling to defend the three-point line, allowing opponents a 38.9% success rate. The Pistons, trailing behind in efficiency, sit 29th in offense and 25th in defense. Their three-point game is shaky, with just a 33.9% success rate, ranking them near the bottom league-wide. Averaging 108.0 points, their defense isn't faring much better, letting through 118.2 points per game. Both teams have been clocking high scores lately, hinting at a possible overshoot on total points. The Pacers, despite their defensive gaps, are adept at curtailing opponent three-pointers. The Pistons face hurdles in their inside defense, especially if Jalen Duren's ankle issue keeps him sidelined. Given these dynamics, the Pacers are tipped to clinch the win and beat the spread. Their upper hand in field goal and three-point accuracy is a major advantage. Still, It's essential to remember their recent struggles, particularly their losses as favorites against Eastern Conference rivals, and their inability to beat the spread in their last 8 Monday matches against Central Division teams with losing records. Summing up, the analysis leans towards a Pacers victory. Their offensive prowess seems set to outmaneuver the Pistons' weaker defense. Expect a high-scoring game with the Pacers emerging victorious, but the Pistons likely to cover the plus 7-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Cleveland Cavaliers and Orlando Magic. We're looking at a showdown that's shaping up to be a real cliffhanger given the recent hot streaks and stats of both squads. The Cavaliers, sitting at a 13-9 record, are riding the wave of a 3-game win spree. They've been lighting up the scoreboard, dropping an average of 111.3 points per game, which lands them at 22nd in the league. On defense, they're a force to reckon with, only allowing 110.6 points per game, ranking them 7th. Their scoring margin is a solid plus 15, showcasing their knack for outgunning their rivals. But there's a wrinkle with injuries. Key players like Evan Mobley and Caris LeVert are on the questionable list, which could throw a wrench in their rhythm. Flipping the script, the Orlando Magic, boasting a 15-7 record, are showing some serious muscle, especially on their home turf. They're gunning for a 9th consecutive home victory. Offensively, the Magic are racking up 114.5 points per game, sitting pretty at 13th in the league. Their defense is just as tight, conceding only 109.6 points per game, which puts them 6th. With a scoring differential of plus 108, they're demonstrating a balanced attack and solid defense. The betting odds are tipping their hats to the Magic, with a spread of -2. The over-under is pegged at 224 points. This nod to the Magic probably stems from their home court prowess and recent form. However, don't count the Cavaliers out just yet. They're nipping at the Magic's heels, setting the stage for a neck-and-neck battle. Looking at their recent face-offs in Orlando, the Magic have clinched 3 out of the last 5 and outperformed the spread in 4. Home court plays a big role, and the Magic's winning ways at the Amway Center are hard to ignore. But the Cavaliers' hunger to keep their win streak alive promises a fierce contest. All signs are pointing slightly in favor of the Orlando Magic. Their impressive record at home, coupled with the Cavaliers' injury woes and the Magic's defensive edge, tilt the scales their way. But the Cavaliers' grit and ability to hang tough make this anyone's game. In summary, while the Magic seem to have the upper hand, don't overlook the Cavaliers' fighting spirit. This matchup is expected to be a nail-biter, but the Magic's home advantage and consistent form might just tip the scales in their favor. I'm putting my chips on the Orlando Magic to clinch the win and beat the -2-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Washington Wizards and Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers stride into this showdown, boasting a formidable 14-7 record, a testament to their dynamic team synergy that's been firing on all cylinders this season. Tyrese Maxey has emerged as a dynamic force, perfectly complemented by Joel Embiid's consistent strength, giving the Sixers a sharp edge in offense. They excel in playing on their home court, making them a formidable opponent. The Sixers lead the league in free throw success per game, known for their assertive play and ability to draw fouls. Conversely, the Washington Wizards are facing difficulties, as seen in their 3-18 record. Their primary weakness lies in their defense, which often allows opponents to score points and assists easily. This vulnerability could be decisive in their match against the offensively strong 76ers. Even with Kyle Kuzma's impressive individual performances, the Wizards have been unable to achieve a consistent team dynamic. In recent direct encounters, the 76ers have generally had the upper hand. They've consistently outplayed the Wizards, and given Washington's current form, a shift in this trend seems unlikely. Additionally, the Wizards' lackluster performance in recent night games against victorious teams might weigh heavily on their morale in this matchup. Scrutinizing player dynamics, Embiid's command in the paint, and his dual threat capability will be crucial. While Kuzma's skill in stretching the play and creating opportunities is key for the Wizards, it might be countered by Embiid's defensive acumen. Moreover, the Wizards' depth concerns, underlined by the uncertainty surrounding some players, could further dent their prospects. Considering these factors, the forecast strongly favors the Philadelphia 76ers clinching a decisive home victory. However, the 12-point spread seems steep for the second consecutive duel between these teams, even on Philadelphia's court. The Wizards, covering 5 of their last 8 games, might still hold some value. My wager: the Philadelphia 76ers will win, but the Washington Wizards will beat the 12-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Denver Nuggets and Atlanta Hawks. The Denver Nuggets, boasting a 14-9 record, are tearing up the court with an offense that's dropping a smooth 113.6 points per game on 48.8% shooting. Leading the charge is the hoop wizard Nikola Jokic, who's racking up an impressive 28.4 points and 13 boards a game. The Nuggets are a double threat, lighting up the scoreboard and dominating the glass. Assisting Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are key players, with Porter contributing 17.6 points and 8.1 rebounds, and Murray consistently hitting the double digits in scoring. However, their defense shows some cracks, letting opponents score 110.6 points on 46.5% shooting. They're shooting threes at 36.4% and free throws at 71%, with an average of 44.1 rebounds per game. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Hawks, sitting at a 9-12 record, are no slouches. Trae Young is a force to reckon with, expected to net 24 points, snag 3 rebounds, and hand out 10 assists. His wingmen, Bogdan Bogdanovic and DeJounte Murray, bring their A-game in scoring and all-around play. The Hawks play a rapid-fire game, especially on their turf at the State Farm Arena, where they up their points game. A deep dive into both squads' recent face-offs, especially their last 5 showdowns in Atlanta, uncovers trends that might tip the scales. The Nuggets, struggling on foreign courts, may find it tough to hold down the fort against the Hawks, who have a higher scoring average on their home ground. Moreover, it's crucial to eyeball the head-to-head history, current form, and the impact of back-to-back games in this city duel. Denver's away game struggles and Atlanta's mastery of their home court are key factors in this contest. Wrapping it up, after sizing up team stats, star plays, recent forms, and past matchups, I'm leaning towards the Atlanta Hawks clinching a tight win. Their fast pace, scoring prowess, and home court mojo look set to outplay the Nuggets, who are hustling to find their groove in away games. My money's on the Atlanta Hawks to beat the plus 3-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Toronto Raptors and New York Knicks. In the hoops world, the Toronto Raptors are battling some tough breaks, sitting at 9-13 in the 11th spot of the Eastern Conference. Their offense isn't firing on all cylinders, with a 3-point average hanging at a mere 33%, one of the league's lowest. Coupled with a defense that's lost its edge, the Raptors are in a real scramble to find their groove. Players like Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes are showing some serious flash, but the squad's overall game is hit or miss. Dropping 4 of their last 5 games really shines a spotlight on their need for a game plan overhaul to bounce back in the standings. On the flip side, the New York Knicks are looking more solid in the standings, but in the game of basketball, yesterday's scores don't always call tomorrow's shots. It's key to size up each team's play style, strengths, and weaknesses when they hit the court. Taking a close look at the Raptors, especially on their home turf, it's vital to consider the home court advantage factor. This can seriously amp up player performance and team synergy. For the Knicks, how they handle away games is what's going to matter in this face-off. So, the odds are tilting towards the New York Knicks. Their sharpshooting and current form give them the upper hand here. But in the basketball world, expect the unexpected. The Raptors, cornered and hungry for a win, might just find that spark to flip the script. Wrapping it up, the Knicks are the pick, not just for their season stats, but also because the Raptors have been stumbling. But hey, this is basketball. Anything can happen based on player form, coaching moves, and the sport's unpredictable nature. In the betting game, there are no sure shots. Always weigh in different angles and insights. I'm putting my money on the New York Knicks to win and to beat the minus 4-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between San Antonio Spurs and Houston Rockets. Tonight's basketball clash at the Toyota Center promises to be a riveting affair, with the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Houston Rockets. The Spurs are currently facing an uphill battle, evident from their .318 record. They've been particularly porous in defense, giving up a hefty 122.8 points per game, landing them at a dismal 28th place in the league defensively. Their offense shows some promise in assists, but hasn't been quite effective, averaging 110.7 points per game. Conversely, the Houston Rockets are showcasing a more robust and consistent form, holding a nearly balanced 10-9 record. They're netting an average of 110.1 points per game and shooting with a 47% success rate, indicating a sound offensive approach. Their prowess in three-pointers is noteworthy, with a 36.4% success rate. Defensively, the Rockets are a force to be reckoned with, topping the charts in limiting opponent assists and field goals per game. Key players are making a difference. For the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama is a powerhouse, averaging 18.9 points and 9.7 rebounds per game, with Keldon Johnson also making a mark in rebounds. The Rockets have their stars in Alperen Sengun, averaging 20.8 points and 9.1 rebounds, and Jalen Green, a significant contributor in points and rebounds. Fred VanVleet's playmaking is impressive, ranking 4th in assists per game this season. Assessing the current form, the Rockets seem to have the upper hand with their solid defense and more stable recent performances. The Spurs, though struggling, have been resilient against the spread in their latest outings, yet they are up against a formidable Rockets team, particularly strong at home. The prediction tilts in favor of the Houston Rockets, considering their overall superior form and defensive solidity. Their efficient play and home turf advantage are crucial factors here. Nonetheless, the Spurs' ability to defy the spread merits attention, given their recent defiance against the odds. In summary, while the Houston Rockets are the likely victors, the Spurs might still turn the tables, especially in beating the spread. My money's on the Rockets for the win, but I'm keeping an eye on the Spurs to possibly exceed expectations and cover the 9-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Dallas Mavericks and Memphis Grizzlies. Riding the wave of Luka Doncic's stellar play, the Mavericks are set to keep their hot streak alive. Doncic, the heart and soul of Dallas, is dropping dimes with an average of 32 points, 10 boards, and 8 assists. He's not alone, though. Tim Hardaway, Dante Exum, and Derek Jones are also key players, bringing a dynamic offense to the court. On the flip side, the Grizzlies are powered up by Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane. These two are making waves, with Bane's 25.1 points per game and Jackson's brick wall defense, averaging 1.8 blocks per game. But Memphis has got some work to do, particularly in tightening up their defense. Looking at the numbers, the Mavericks are the bookies' darlings, with a spread of minus 2.5 and an over-under of 228.5. They've been soaring past the total in recent games, pointing to a score fest. Dallas has been steady and strong, especially when they're the front runners. In the head-to-head matchup, Dallas seems to have the upper hand statistically, shining in turnovers per game and sinking three-pointers. Meanwhile, Memphis is lagging in blocking opponent shots and keeping down their three-point percentage. Injury-wise, both teams have had their struggles, but the Mavericks seem to be in a better place. They've got depth and Doncic's leadership, giving them an edge. Putting it all together, my bet is on the Dallas Mavericks. They're more consistent, have a robust offense, and with Doncic in top form, they're set to exploit the Grizzlies' defensive gaps and cover the spread. And remember, in the betting game, it's crucial to weigh up player stats, team trends, and past performances. Always bet smart and responsibly. The next prediction is for the match between Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks have been dominating the hardwood, particularly in their own arena. Their scoring game is on fire, averaging a whopping 122. 2 points when playing at home, just a notch above their 122.1 points on the road. They're nailing threes like pros, ranked 7th in the league with 14.4 three-pointers per game and holding a solid 4th in accuracy from downtown at 38.3%. On defense, the Bucks are giving up 12.6 threes per game, landing them 15th in the league, and they're keeping opponents to a 35.6% success rate from beyond the arc, good for 10th place. Lately, they've stepped up their offense, pouring in an average of 127.0 points in their recent 10-game stretch, surpassing their season's average. But they've been a tad more generous on defense during this run, allowing 121.8 points per game. The Chicago Bulls, in contrast, have been stumbling in their scoring efforts. They're lagging behind as one of the lower scoring squads in the league, with just 108.4 points per game and sitting 24th in the rebounding charts with 42.5 per game. Their defense against threes is their Achilles heel, ranking last in the NBA for threes allowed per game at 14.6 and 21st in defending the three-point line at 37.2%. They've upped their game a bit lately, scoring 109.4 points on average in their last 10 games, but their defense hasn't really stepped up, giving away 113.7 points in the same period. Focusing on star performances, DeMar DeRozan of the Bulls is expected to spearhead their charge with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. For the Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo is projected to light up the scoreboard with 37 points, haul in 14 rebounds, and dish out 7 assists. Taking into account the home court edge, the current form of both teams, and the stats side by side, the scales tip in favor of a Milwaukee Bucks triumph. Their superior scoring prowess and lethal three-point game, coupled with the Bulls' defensive woes, particularly against threes, signal a clear advantage for Milwaukee. The game's forecast is a Bucks win, with the total score surpassing 232, and the Bucks likely to beat the spread of minus 10 points. My bets are riding on the total, going over 232. The next prediction is for the match between Minnesota Timberwolves and New Orleans Pelicans. Tonight's basketball showdown at the Smoothie King Center is not just a game, it's a clash of titans. The Minnesota Timberwolves are on fire this season, boasting a top-notch record of 17-4. Their recent surge, marked by a dominant 9-1 streak, including a masterclass performance against the Memphis Grizzlies, has everyone talking. This team isn't just good, they're a force to be reckoned with on the road too, rocking a solid 7-3 away record. On the flip side, the New Orleans Pelicans are no pushovers. With the trio of Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and C.J. McCollum leading the charge in scoring, they're bringing some serious game. Williamson is especially lethal, shooting an incredible 57.4% from the field. Jonas Valanciunas is the go-to guy for rebounds and blocks, while McCollum is dishing out assists and swiping steals left and right. But the Timberwolves have some hurdles to overcome. Key players Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Jordan McLaughlin are all on the injury watch list, which could throw a wrench in their game plan. Meanwhile, the Pelicans are showing up as a well-oiled machine, with their team synergy potentially giving them a leg up, especially on their home turf. Comparing past face-offs and considering the Timberwolves' formidable form, they look like the favorites. Yet, the Pelicans' solid team dynamics and the Timberwolves' injury woes might just level the playing field. This game is shaping up to be a nail-biter, with each team bringing their A-game. Wrapping it up, the Timberwolves might be riding high, but the Pelicans' home advantage and well-rounded teamwork could be the game changers. My bet. I'm leaning towards the New Orleans Pelicans seizing a victory in this tight matchup, especially considering their strong home record and the Timberwolves' injury challenges. I'm backing the Pelicans to triumph and beat the minus 3-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Utah Jazz and Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder are tearing up the court this season. Sitting pretty with a 14-7 tally, their offense and defense are nothing short of spectacular. Watch out for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the team's dynamo, dropping a cool 30.1 points and dishing out 6.3 assists per game. He's not just fueling the offense. His defensive game is on point too. The Thunder are ruling their home turf, racking up 122.8 points on average per game. Their three-point game is fire, leading the league with a 38.7% success rate. The only hitch in their gameplay, they're lagging in the rebound department, ranking near the bottom in the Liga. Now, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. They're in a bit of a jam with a 7-15 record. Averaging 111.0 points per game, they're way down at 24th in the league. Their main hurdle? The injury of their ace, Lauri Markkanen, who's been a scoring and rebounding powerhouse. The Jazz do shine in rebounds, ranking 4th in the league, but their three-point defense is lacking, placing them near the bottom. Betting trends are favoring the Thunder, especially away from home, with a 7-2 record against the spread, and they're known for high-scoring showdowns. The Jazz, on the other hand, are are struggling on the road with a 3-8 mark, and their leaky defense often leads to high-scoring games. Weighing up recent plays and stats, the Oklahoma City Thunder have the edge, especially at home. The Jazz are faltering, particularly on the road. Prediction? The Thunder are poised to snag a win. They're set to cover the spread, thanks to their solid form and home court sway. Expect a scoreboard blitz, with the Thunder's sharpshooting and the Jazz's defensive woes. To wrap it up, betting smart means backing the Oklahoma City Thunder for the win and covering the spread. Their steady gameplay, combined with the Jazz's road game struggles, points to a Thunder triumph. My money's on the Thunder to win and cover the minus 12-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Brooklyn Nets and Sacramento Kings. The Brooklyn Nets are tearing up the court with a dynamic offense that's got 7 players racking up scores in double digits. They're bringing the heat, especially when they're away, dropping a whopping 120 points per game in enemy territory. Mikal Bridges and Spencer Dinwiddie are lighting up the scoreboard, with Bridges playing a crucial role in their recent triumph over the Wizards. But there's a hitch. Injuries to key defenders like Dennis Smith Jr. and Lonnie Walker could leave some gaps in the Nets' armor. Meanwhile, the Sacramento Kings are no slouches in the scoring department. De'Aaron Fox, sitting pretty as the league's 4th top scorer, leads a squad where 6 players are hitting double figures in points. The Kings are ruling their home court at the Golden One Center, also averaging 120 points per game. Domantas Sabonis is a double-double machine, and players like Malik Monk are stepping up big time. But the Kings' defense is a bit shaky, especially against sharpshooters from beyond the arc. This weakness might just tip the scales in a face-off with the Nets, who excel in offense. When the Nets and Kings clash, it's a high-octane, scoreboard-busting showdown. The Nets might have the upper hand with their slick offense and solid rebounding, but the Kings' home court strength and scoring might just level the playing field. This game's shaping up to be a points bonanza, with both teams showing some chinks in their defensive armor. The Nets have a slightly better track record on defense, which could be the decider in a nail-biter. All things considered, the Kings are beasts at home, but the Nets have this uncanny knack for shining on the road, even shorthanded on defense. So I'm putting my money on a tight, high-scoring thriller with the Brooklyn Nets, likely edging out and beating the spread. My money's on the Brooklyn Nets, with a plus 5-point cushion. The last prediction for today is for the match between Portland Trailblazers and Los Angeles Clippers. In the world of hoops, Portland has been hustling hard, but hitting a rough patch this season with a 6-15 tally. Their scoring game, particularly their shooting accuracy, is raising eyebrows. In their last showdown with the Mavericks, they clocked a 37.1% shooting success and nailed 18 out of 53 attempts from downtown. Anfernee Simons, a key player for Portland, dropped a cool 30 points, proving he's a game-changer on the court. Switching courts, the Clippers are cruising a bit smoother at 11-10, showing a more even-keeled season. Their recent clash with the Jazz wrapped up in a 117-103 triumph, highlighting their solid squad effort and slick strategies. The Clippers are acing it both in attack and defense, a combo that might just outplay the Trailblazers. The real game-changer here is how Portland will tackle the Clippers' defensive hustle. The Clippers have a knack for clipping their rivals' scoring chances, a real test for the Trailblazers, especially with their current form. Plus, the Clippers' home turf at Crypto.com Arena could be a game decider. Looking at the stats, recent plays, and team vibes, the scales tip in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers. They've got a steadier game and the home court edge, which could be crucial. The Blazers need to up their shooting game to break through the Clippers' solid defense. In a nutshell, while Portland aims to snap their losing streak, the Clippers, with their steady play and home advantage, look set to bag this one. Expect a nail-biter, but the Clippers are poised to keep up their form and clinch a victory over the Trailblazers. If DeAndre Ayton and Malcolm Brogdon hit the court tonight, my money's on Portland to beat the 13-point spread. But if they're benched, I'm keeping my wallet shut. All right, hoopheads, that's the buzzer for today's predictions. Big thanks for rolling with us. If you're vibing with our picks, slam that subscribe button and get on board. Catch you on the court tomorrow. Peace.